I love my titties. I love my fake titties. And I hope that's the clip of the week. Eric and I got yoga balls instead of like chairs because we're just tired of like having like neck pain and stuff. So if you see me bouncing, it's because I'm on a yoga ball and it's so much fun. Like it is just
I,
so much fun.
my first job before I was like online coaching and all of that was running a fitness center within a light bulb company. So I managed all of their employees and they all had desk jobs. So we'd make all of them switch out their chairs and get yoga balls.
Dude, honestly, like it's just fun. And like it's something where you don't have to think about like engaging your abs because like like if you don't like you're gonna eat shit. So I don't know, it's fun. But I'm excited to answer some of these questions.
Like, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
All right.
I'm tired. I don't know, 7 days out, like just hanging in there.
I get that.
Looking ready to roll. I saw your post this morning. You look great.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I agree.
I feel like I need a little bit more hardness for sure, but we'll get there. We haven't really started pulling all the bells and whistles yet, so I'm feeling good. So
Good. Good. Happy to hear that. What about you, Laura? How are you doing? I saw on Instagram where you said it was kind of like a harder week.
Yeah, you know how like it's a strange transition always for me, like because I'm the person that like wants to stay lean forever and keep going and live in this I'm just going to be shredded for the rest of my life phase. But realistically, I also want to take a short off season, short for, like around this time next year to compete again. So that doesn't really make sense. And also the fact that I've been technically reversing for like 2 months now, and I'm at the point where it's like you're starting to see the difference.
Hmm.
It's just hard, but it is what it is.
have you gotten labs done yet?
I actually went this morning.
Oh, sweet. Cool.
So
Awesome.
we shall see.
Yeah.
How are you feeling though? Like other than the mental aspect though, physically you're
I feel
feeling pretty
fucking
good?
awesome. I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life. Like my lifts are going great. I just keep looking at myself. I'm like, bitch, you are getting fat. And then I'm like, stop it.
Mm.
Like at the same time. So that's where we're at.
Mhm.
Yeah, the mental struggle of post show kind of rebound periods, but I think you're handling it just fine. I don't think that your body fat is getting out of hand by any means, so I
You
think
know
you're good.
how you know how it is that, and we were kind of talking about this, but like the comparison of social media.
Of
And so of
course.
course, like I'm seeing everybody that's like, oh, I just competed, blah, 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 blah. And like technically so did I, but like realistically, that wasn't my best look. I was just trying to fill out for it to look more wellness, but
Hmm.
my like leanest body fat was 2 months ago. And that
Yeah.
realistically was more appropriate for stage. So I see that and I'm like, well, am I fucking up? Like, should I be leaner? Am I holding on to this tool? And realistically, no, because if now I need to grow. So
Yeah.
it's that like almost having to talk yourself through it of I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. Definitely. And I mean, I don't think there's any like set number that you should be over like stage weight either. I think people definitely obsess over that too much, especially as females. Now, I don't think that you should be up by the double digits like 2 weeks post show at all. I think, honestly, I think, and you guys can think otherwise, but I think you should stay as lean as you can, within reason, of course, and keep hunger as high as you can to keep like insulin sensitivity in a good spot post show. If you're 2 weeks post show and you have no appetite because you've just been gorging yourself and you're already 15, 20 pounds up, like you've already unfortunately done some damage that is going to take a while to get back from for sure.
Yeah, like you
Right.
fucked up at that point. And like honestly, like I know there are some people that like give formulas and examples, and it's like it's great to give examples, but at the same time, it doesn't fucking matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't. Like if you're comparing your reverse to someone else's reverse, like just because you can suffer doesn't mean that you should. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like you end up doing more harm than good, and then you end up like putting this unnecessary pressure on yourself. And at the end of the day, like you need to do what you need to do. Like that's why having a coach is so beneficial to make sure that like they keep you focused and all you need to do is execute. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like don't overthink your check-in photos. Send it to your coach and if you need to delete them or put them in a special album that locks,
Dude.
like fucking do whatever. It's like, honestly, like it's just as someone that puts so much goddamn pressure on everything, it's just fucking bodybuilding. Like you need
Yeah.
to chill. Like you need to chill. And like if
Yeah.
you need therapy, please do what I did and recognize that like the reason why you're making bodybuilding not fun is not because of bodybuilding, it's because of you, dog. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's just not that big of a deal unless you're making it a big deal, in which case it's just not going to be fun.
I would
Yeah,
say every,
definitely. Oh,
go ahead.
God. No, you're fine.
As every situation differs too. Like I had an athlete this season that honestly I was at an uncomfortable point with how low calories had to go, but sometimes that's how it is. But I also knew that as soon as her show was over, we were not staying anywhere near where we were at just because like that is not realistic. Like brain function, all of that, like that's out the window. And like granted, are you supposed to be walking calories up slowly? Yes, but I also have, and this is just me, you guys may feel different, but like if a client is not at least at like 1600 calories coming out of like going into a reverse, that's where I'll put them at regardless. I think that that's a not an excessive amount of calories, but enough that you can start to feel a little bit better and like do at least the daily necessities.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. I mean, we've talked about it on previous episodes that that slow reverse is so old. Like it's out. It's so out. Like this is a period of time that you have to rebalance your hormones, your sanity, your lifts and everything, but within reason, of course. So I think like that 1500, 1600 calorie range is probably realistic, especially if it's like a bikini athlete or something like that. For sure. And of course, everybody's going to be different. Like some people don't have to go below even, the lowest my calories have gotten this prep was 2000, but like that's over half of what I'm used to eating in the off season.
Yeah, and your
So
Things
WP.
relative.
Yeah. And like
yeah.
as a bikini athlete, that's, we had to do what we had to do to peel me down. It's like the lowest my stuff got was like 1400. Oh,
Mhm.
and I know that doesn't sound like a little, I know that doesn't sound like 900 calories if you compare it, but like I'm not comparing it to 900 calories because it
Yeah,
doesn't fucking matter. Like I'm
exactly.
comparing it to what I'm used to in my off season or at maintenance, and my
Yeah.
maintenance is like 2,500 to 2,700 calories doing only 20 minutes of cardio versus like when I was at my lowest, it was, 1,400 calories, 55 minutes of cardio plus 10,000 steps plus still training really hard. So it's like that was fucking tough. It was hard, but like it was hard for me and I made it unnecessarily harder because of the pressure and
Yeah.
expectation, right? But it's like again, like comparing your prep to someone else's prep, like
Mhm.
that's just wasted energy. That's like literally
Yeah.
wasted energy and wasted resources. And it's like you got to be better
Mhm.
than that.
I mean,
Like,
comparing your prep to your prep,
yeah,
previous preps, like I sure this prep was very good for me, but next year, hopefully I have more muscle tissue and
same.
it's going to be even better. But maybe it's not. Maybe I have to push the cardio harder. Maybe we have to diet harder. It really all depends on where you're at.
Hmm.
But I did like the whole, if you have to take your photos and delete them or put them in an album. I tell this to my athletes all the time. Step on the scale, step off. Take the pictures, shut your phone. If you send me a check-in, you're like, oh, I look fat. My weight's up. This, that, and the other thing. It's like, I see that. I have eyes, guys. Like, don't worry about it. This is not your data to worry about. That's why you hired me. So be coachable. Just send it over. That's my stress now. That shouldn't be your stress. It's easier said than done because, yeah, sure. I've definitely had weeks in prep where I like go to Will immediately after I take photos. I'm like, cool. So like, should I do bikini or like what? Like, so it's like, sure, it's a mind fuck, but your coach doesn't need to hear that. Like, it's just data. And you're taking, like you said, you're taking the love out of bodybuilding. You're making it suck more
Dude, I
than it
don't,
has to.
dude, it's for real. I don't think I've ever told Austin I'm fat because, like, why would I? Like, it's like that's wastes my energy to type that out. And then
Yeah.
like I'm just reinforcing this negative expectation that I would have on myself. So it's like if I felt fat one day, I worked through it
Hmm.
because it doesn't change my trajectory, right? It's like I know he has my best interests at heart in the same way that we have our athletes' best interests at heart. And it's like I'm not saying you shouldn't be honest, but like also Austin's not my therapist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not if I need to do some inner work, I'm gonna do that with someone that is qualified to do so, as well as like in like journaling, which is something I have
Hmm.
started to do. It's like, and then because I say something maybe mean to myself, why? Why do I feel that? Remove the judgment and start like picking at yourself. Like, why do I think this way about myself? Right? That is the inner work that most people don't want to do. They just want to bitch. They want someone else to assume that. And then they still stay negative. And it's like, that's not the life that you should live, in my opinion. I don't want to live that life anymore. So it's like,
Hmm.
think about like, why are you saying these things to yourself? Regardless if it's prep, check-in photos, scale weight, like, why are you being mean to yourself? Sit with it and like literally think about it, journal it, talk to someone about it. Because at the end of the day, you'll find like some inner things that are making you a bad person to yourself. And it's like, you're not going to get a trophy for that in any sport, in any division, in any thing. Because like, that's just sad. And that's again like what I was doing. And I was like, I don't want to be sad. So I'm going to work on that shit.
Yeah, I love that. I know that wasn't really answering one of the listeners' questions, but I feel like that was a good little intro.
Yeah, I agree. How did the three of us connect and to start on the pod? Um, I think it actually starts with me because
Yeah, I
I
think you slid in
had,
the DMs.
yeah, I slid, dude, guys. I was like hard Meg crushing for so long. And
Mm.
finally, I decided to shoot my shot and I was like, hey, Dr. IFBB Pro, Megan Santa Barbara, Scooby Prep, will you come on my podcast holding center and talk about muscle atrophy? Because Meg, at the time in her journey, she was literally after like trying to atrophy her upper body because she decided to do wellness.
I know, I
And
regret that.
but it was something where I was scared shitless because I was like, one, I thought she was way older than me, not because of how she looked, but because again of her density. So I was like, dude, this bitch has got to be 30. Like she's gonna be like so like I was so intimidated by her because of how insecure I was. But like she was super friendly, super nice. Like we obviously did a really nice podcast. And then like kind of like a fungus, I just kind of like stuck on her. You know what I'm saying? I kind of just never left her the fuck alone. And by that time, like Laura and I were already pretty good friends just from like similar friend groups and stuff like that. And at that time, like I was like wanting to do another podcast, and then Laura and I were chit-chatting one day, like months after like Meg and I started to kind of like blossom into a friendship. And then Laura and I texted each other practically the same thing. And they were like, do you want to do a podcast and invite Meg to be like part of the threesome? And
Part of
part
this.
of the threesome, yeah. And I was like, I think that's great because I would love to do that too. Because at that time, Laura, I think we were already doing that Instagram live thing and we were like wanting to expand upon it.
Yep, we were doing it live, and then honestly, I had done a live just like separate from that with Meg.
Mhm.
I don't even remember what we did it on.
I don't either,
I
dude.
remember sitting in Starbucks doing it because I was driving to work and it was 1,000 degrees out, but I have no idea what we talked about.
Me
And
either.
and Ash, I remember the first time you and I ever talked, I was literally sitting in the hospital, in the car, about to go have breast augmentation surgery. It was the first time because I had posted something on my stories about that I was going to have surgery for my breast augmentation, and you like wished me good luck.
Oh, what a good person I am.
Yeah.
Good job,
And you
Ash.
were like going into like how you had already done it and like giving me like a little bit of your experience. And at the time, I didn't say it, but I'm like, I've already done this 8 times. It's good.
8 times.
I was like trying to be encouraging and loving because I was like
Ugh.
excited. Like whenever a female was like, "Yo, I want to get titties," I want to share in her celebration because like I love my titties. I love my fake titties. And I hope that's the clip of the week. And it's something where it's like when I see another female like kind of pursuing like interest, I'm like, how can I help? How can I make this like experience as enjoyable for you as possible? Because I had so much fun with mine. And I thought that was Laura, not realizing she was like a breast augmentation pro at this point. I to be
Honestly,
pro.
at the time, I needed the reinforcement because I had taken them out and left them out for a year. And of course, my mind was like, "Is this a mistake?" And I was really anxious about it. So it
Yeah,
was really nice that you messaged me.
that's nice. Cause see, I actually thought our first, maybe it was like our first conversation that I remember reaching out is because I was paralyzed because I was mentoring with Jeff at the time and I was paralyzed by him because I was scared of him. And he sent me something and I was just overwhelmed. And so I like tiptoed over to Laura and I was like, "Hey, like can you help me please?" And she was like, "Listen, like get the most out of this. Like he's not that scary. Just like reach out so that way you understand." And like I really appreciated her giving that wisdom because while she helped me to the best of my ability, she was like, "You're mentoring with him, you're paying him a fuck ton of money." She was like, "You need to use it." And it was the one of the best conversations for on my benefit because she pushed me. So if you guys notice, like she pushed me in the way I needed to be pushed, and I encouraged her the way that she needed to be encouraged. And like I feel like that's just sometimes how friendships blossom because it's like we did right by each other without even like really knowing one another.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at the time, at least.
Yeah. But essentially I shot my shot with both ladies and
Here we are.
just like a fungus, I'm still here.
And we still haven't all met in person.
I
Well,
know. Well, you
yeah,
guys have.
we have, but
Yeah.
Laura's just,
All
we don't
right.
even know if she exists really. She could
Yeah, I
be
think Laura's
AI.
AI.
Who knows?
I'm
Love it.
really tall in real life.
Yeah, she's actually 6 foot.
Yeah, okay.
And
Damn.
Meg's like, oh, just kidding. Looks dead.
That's so funny. Next question is a juicy one. Do you want to do the juicy significant other question, or do you want to do the breast augmentation question since we just talked about titties?
We can do the breast aug one because I feel like that's kind of easy,
Yeah.
like quick.
What was the question on that again?
Yeah. So how long after your breast aug did you start lifting again? Is it true that there are some exercises you can never do again?
Ooh, I'm probably the one for this because I'm the one that fucked this up the first
Yep.
time, at least. Definitely not 2 days later. Don't do that. I think rule of thumb is what, 6 weeks? Six
6 to
weeks.
8, yeah,
I had a
forever.
special time because like again, I did mine 2 days post show.
Yeah.
So, he was like convinced I had an eating disorder, which kind of was right. Like I played the bodybuilding card, but like, yeah, I bodybuilt with the wrong intentions. So he told me I couldn't be in the gym until 12 weeks, like lifting weights, but I could like once I started to feel a little less swelling and inflammation, I could kind of like walk a little bit. But essentially he was just like, yeah, you need to fucking chill.
I'm actually really surprised that you could do that. And I don't mean that in any negative way, but just like knowing, even the first time I got mine done, and I was still kind of tiptoeing with that too, is like 6 weeks, I was like, there's no way. And like literally, I didn't do it. But like 12 weeks, that's a fucking long time.
Yeah, and it was good for me in a lot of ways because like I needed to be okay with doing less, but unfortunately, I wasn't of the right mindset to receive that lesson yet. So what did I do after 12 weeks? I did even more to like make up for like the 12 weeks I was like off. You know what I'm saying? But like thankfully, I didn't do anything to hurt myself. It was just like I was so fucked up mentally that like it just didn't matter, you know?
I think, and this is as long as you're not someone that has like complications or whatever, but typically it's something like 4 weeks or so that you can start doing like body weight, lower body stuff that you're not really straining.
Mhm.
And then 6 weeks is the like green light. And this is keeping in mind not like a replacement, reconstructive, just first time, that you can kind of get back to training, but nothing overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, I mean, I've had mine done, what, 4 times? So, and that was for multiple reasons, for aesthetic purposes, for also complications from one of mine because of lateral displacement and bottoming out. But now I have like the mesh bra, so it keeps them closer together. And I wish I did go above the muscle, but at the time I didn't have intentions of going to WPD. But if now I was in that place where I was getting my breast redone, I would go above the muscle. But personally, right now, I mean, I train chest. I've trained pretty heavy chest, and I know that there is a risk that there could be some lateral displacement with it. But honestly, me placing and getting to the Olympia with a little wonky tit is worth it to me. So It really all depends on, I think, your current muscle size and your intentions with how much more muscle you want to develop, whether you should be going above or under the muscle. If you go over the muscle, then you can train chest a bit harder and heavier and more frequent. But you'll have to know when you do diet down, they do sometimes look like, boobs on top of pecs. And, obviously you're not walking around like that year round. But if that does kind of rub you the wrong way from an aesthetic point of view, maybe that's not the way to go for you.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I've seen bikini and wellness women, a lot of Brazilians do above the muscle. You'll see the difference for sure, clear as day in some people. But yeah, personally, after my first augmentation, I was just getting into training, so I was training everything. And then I did switch to the figure division. I went heavy on chest. And at the time, they weren't the best implants because, it was just, 20, oh my God, I don't even know, 2017, 20, something like that, 2016, I think. So a lot of new advancements in the augmentation industry or whatever have come to the surface now. So like the breast mesh insert, sorry, and the gummy implants and all that shit. But at the time, like it was just easier for those implants to laterally displace. So
Mhm.
that means going out to your armpits pretty much. But I think typically reconstruction or like second surgeries, getting them removed and getting new ones in, your recovery is typically a little bit easier as you continue going, unless there were complications
Yeah.
in the surgery. But typically, because the skin is already stretched, it really, I guess it depends though still. There could be a lot of scar tissue buildup, which that can cause more inflammation and time and recovery too. So everybody's going to be different, man. Listen to your doctor, but also you have to be in tune with yourself and be smart about it too. Because yeah, we want to rush back into your off season or whatever, but you don't want to have complications from something that you just paid 10, 15 grand on, you know?
Can
Yeah.
I ask you, did you go to the guy, he's in Fort Lauderdale, he's like the guy
Yeah.
that like invented the,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go to him too.
Mhm. He's good.
He's
That's cool.
expensive though. To do the invisible brow with it is $17,000.
Oh yeah, mine was about in total, it was like 17, 18 grand. Paid
Damn.
that shit out of pocket.
I
Yeah.
keep dancing back and forth, like if I want to do it now or wait a little bit. Because, so for me, the last time I got mine done was 3 years ago now.
Mhm.
And he told me straight up, he's like, I can't put the same size implant in both sides after all the issues I had. And
Yeah.
like, it was like one thing after another each year. And now I've been like solid for 3 years, but now it does look kind of weird from like the side. That I have like 300 on one side, 350 in the other. And like it has still shifted, even though he supposedly did some type of technique that he sewed around the implant, I think. I don't know, something
Mhm.
like that to create like a boundary so it couldn't move, but it still did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my client Steph, that blonde girl, went to him as well, and hers best I've ever seen for somebody having fake boobs. So that was why I reached out.
Yeah. He's
He seems
really
like a great
good.
guy.
Yeah. I mean I would like to get mine redone because I would really like to go above the muscle. But with where I want to see my competitive career in the next 2, 3 years, I don't want to take time off for
Mm.
recovery unless there is a complication and I need to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Makes
the
sense.
aesthetics, like Will
That's
likes my tits and that's all that matters.
I like your
So
tits, so like
That's kind of my thoughts too, though, is if I
yeah.
want to take that much time off, knowing
Yeah,
I
just
have 1 year left of like competing. So
yeah.
yeah.
You have to do what's right for you, man. You know? And at the end of the day, you don't need tits to compete. I
no,
think that needs to be said too. There's a lot of naturally smaller breasted females who are on that Olympia stage.
I would argue that in
There's probably
wellness, it
more.
actually helps you to not have fake boobs.
Honestly. Yeah, I mean, Cass, she got a reduction and it made her physique look more balanced and now she doesn't look as top heavy. So
Mm.
maybe she didn't add too much on her lower body, but now she is fitting the criteria better because her tits were literally like uniboob. That's how big they were. And
Wow.
it just creates a terrible look on stage.
I will say you don't need boobs to compete, but it can definitely negative impact you
Yes.
having them done the wrong way. I would argue that Issa would probably do, I mean, obviously she was Miss Olympia and whatever, but she has over the muscle. It's very obvious. And I
And
feel
they,
like
yeah,
elongate her torso that takes away from the displacement of how large her lower body is. So
Mm,
for someone like her, I think it would actually benefit her aesthetic having that
yeah,
much muscle.
And in full
hmm
transparency, it also depends on like how much breast tissue you have
of course.
just in regard because like I've never had thick breast tissue. So like when Meg was saying like it could look like tits over pecs, mine do. Like I just don't have a lot of breast tissue to begin with. And granted, like my suit wasn't tied properly too, so like that didn't help. But like it's something where I need to make sure that my suit is tied really fucking tight so that way like they stay more together and there's no under boob and I need to make sure that like I scoop the titties. So like also keep in mind when it comes to just even competition day, like it's really important to work with a suit designer that knows you have implants because like that will also impact your overall look. But
Yeah.
like really you just got to figure out like what your surgeon recommends too because like if you have rib flare or chest cavity issue it's something where it's like just because these are our experiences doesn't mean that they'll be yours so it's
Sure.
really important to do your research to find what options you ideally like but then also have a surgeon that's like I get that you want this but this is why I might recommend something different.
You want someone that's going to tell you the truth. To be honest, I probably would not have implants right now if I hadn't gone to a surgeon that was like, this is all I'm allowing you to do. If you have a problem with it, too bad. I won't do it
Yeah.
because I wanted bigger and going smaller definitely helped me be able to actually just have something there. And
Mhm.
I'd rather something than nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good answers. All
Yeah.
right. This is the juicy one. So, when significant others aren't particularly supportive of your bodybuilding and competing. Mine ruined my last show day because he caused me so much anxiety, acted mad and short with me all day, leaving me concerned with his happiness all day. Now I feel resentment.
Hmm. Leave him. Fuck that guy.
So
Short.
I'm going to guess if this is your scenario, you already know that this is the personality tendency of your spouse. So,
It's just significant other. So, let's keep an open mind. It
same
could
Same
be,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
significant other. Sorry. A conversation should take place prior
Of course.
that, this is my day, this is what's expected of me, this is what I'm going to have to be doing. I'd love your support. If that doesn't, fit for your needs, maybe we should reconvene after that day. I would try to put it delicately, but if you feel as though your significant other is going to add stress to the one day that should be about you, you should go on your own.
Mhm.
I,
It's so hard because, again, this is just like, I assume it's a her just because she said he. So, I mean, I guess it could be two guys, but like, we only know her side. We also don't know his. And
mhm.
it's something where if she did him dirty, okay, I can see why he would. It means sounds like he was being childish. I can see why he's being childish. Now, if she really is invested into the relationship and she's not receiving what she's putting in, or maybe she's not like putting in the right type of affection and love. And I know that might sound weird, but like as someone that's been with Eric for 11 years, we've made a lot of fuck ups, but we've also had a lot of wins. And it's like the earlier part of our relationship, we didn't know how to communicate and we also didn't know how to receive. And what I mean by that is like I always did stuff for him, not realizing that's not how he felt love. So it's like I was doing all of the things when in reality, he just wanted me to sit the fuck down and play with his hair. And that took us a long time to like be emotionally mature enough to communicate this and understand like even our own needs. And so it is one of those things, depending upon even the nature of the relationship, the newness or the oldness of it, like it's just one of those things that if you guys are butting heads constantly when you're not in prep and in show day, it's like then that might not be the relationship for you. But also you have to understand like as a female competitor, especially if you're enhanced, like we all get cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all get so stressed out from cardio and training and posing and doing all the things. And even if you decide to use enhancements, like that fucks with your brain. So also it's like give yourself a little bit of grace there because maybe this is the truth, but also maybe it's just your truth right now because like you're blitzed out of your mind in prep. So that's kind of like my take on it is maybe just give it some time and figure out like can you still bodybuild in the way that you want to without his support? And if it is like to the point where he cannot be supportive because he is not ready to work on himself and his emotions, then I feel like you have your answer that this relationship isn't you, isn't for you.
I've
I
actually had a similar situation to this, to be totally honest. Not that it happened, but it could have happened that to my show, someone will just leave it as someone was going to be there that Josh doesn't get along with. And my one request of the day was, listen, you guys pass in the night. Like you see each other, cool, keep going. I don't want any drama. I don't want any issues. I don't want anything I have to worry about. And he said, okay with that because I actually expressed it. If I didn't, who knows? But that was something that was important to me because it was my day and I didn't want to worry about having to be stressed.
Mhm.
So I would bring up the conversation if you felt it would be beneficial.
yeah, I think in prep, obviously, we are a little bit depleted mentally and physically. So we can kind of point fingers and assume things. But having, if this is like your first prep or maybe it's their first prep with you, um, instead of assuming that they're against you, try to kind of figure out, if they're just against what bodybuilding is or what they have in mind of what bodybuilding is. So, maybe they feel like second compared to your prep. Then, okay, maybe that's also a you issue. Because in prep, we can't ignore our life. We can't ignore our significant others. We do still have to make time in our schedule to love them and care for them and give them the support that they also need. Because prep, yeah, it is a single kind of thing. Like it is selfish at the end of the day. But if you want their support, you also have to give them respect in return. But maybe they misunderstand like why you're doing this in the beginning. Maybe they don't know much about bodybuilding, but you can educate in a way that's not just saying, "Oh, you don't support me, oh, this and that," like just placing all the blame on him or her when they don't know. They don't know. And then, I mean, I don't think it's right for them to be short with you on your show day. Like, yes, ultimately that is your day you worked so damn hard for, and then to have that feeling, that is tough. And I can't imagine how that feels. But maybe it is just like a lack of education around the sport. Maybe they didn't understand what was going to happen hormonally or to your body, and they're just generally worried and they don't know how to communicate that properly. So like Ash said, like hash this shit out before the prep even begins. Sit down, get clear with your expectations, with what you want out of bodybuilding, with what they can expect to happen. And also, like, you don't have to explain everything to a T. They don't have to understand the X's and O's of bodybuilding, but
No, they need
they
to
need
understand your fucking refeed, dog.
I was going to say they need to understand your passion. They have to understand, why you're actually doing this because I think a lot of relationships get insecure. I have dealt with this personally in previous times too. You're getting leaner. You're posting more about your physique, about your progress online. I do think that some female competitors and males post in a way that's a little too suggestive during prep, but I mean, to each their own. There is definitely a level of respect that you need to still have for your relationship when posting on socials, but even just progress photos, some couples don't like that. And I had to personally deal with that, and that was very tough. And it turned me completely away from bodybuilding. But, Will is super supportive of me, but I'm also very respectful of our relationship. And we hash this out before the prep begins. And, sometimes we got to check ourselves too mentally, and they got to call us out on our bullshit. And I think that is a must as well.
Yeah, I think it really is important to also like remind yourself of context too, because like we don't have the
Yeah.
context other than what's in front of us, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, Meg, you've been with Will for a good chunk of time. Laura's been with Josh for a good chunk of time. I've been with Eric for 11 years. So it's like, and Eric and I are also married, right? And so if you are married, in my opinion, depending upon how the marriage is, I suppose, like it is an extra layer of complexity. And then, especially if you have children, like another layer of complexity when it comes to like managing resource inflows and outflows. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to remind yourself, both of you, that you guys love each other and you are a team. Like
Mhm.
there is a time and a place to address concerns and address things that are bothering you, and the other person needs to receive that without feeling attacked and reacting, right? So if there is conflict, like the dude's got to be able to say what's on his mind, even if it doesn't say it perfectly, where maybe it does come off as attack or he's angry because he doesn't know how to process his emotions. If you come back and just slap back, who fucking wins then? No one, right? No one wins. So it's like sometimes you have to be like the better person of the relationship and like breathe and then
Mhm.
see and understand what they're actually saying. So if he feels like
Yeah.
maybe you put him on the back burner, if he feels like he doesn't have help, it's like, how can I help you? How can I make you feel loved? Right. And I get it's hard to get there, especially when emotions are high and you are depleted. But at the end of the day, if your relationship is important to you, you will not put
You'll
that on the
make it
back burner.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You will make that a priority. Right. And it's like, I am sure at times with how I treated myself, I isolated Eric because we had a conversation about it, right? And I really wasn't going to open up about this, but I fuck it. And it's like he's like I felt so alone from you for so long. And he's like I didn't know how to say it. And the fact that like I was so awful to myself that my husband could not come to me and like feel close to me, I cried. I sobbed. I felt so fucking bad because my favorite person in the entire world couldn't be my favorite person because of me. So that's like why I had to have this like come to Jesus 180 moment because like it's not that my marriage was on the line, but I still caused him pain. I still hurt our marriage because I wasn't good to myself. And so it's something where it's like you have to be able to be honest to each other. And yeah, like it hurt. It hurt to know that like he kept something from me for a really long time, but also I understand why because of me. So
Yeah.
that's just like our relationship and our marriage. And like Eric's not a unicorn. He's not special. He's a man. He's human. I'm not special. I'm not a unicorn. I'm a person. I'm a woman.
I think
Yeah.
it's really easy in a prep to, especially if one person is not a competitor or even if you both are and not both prepping at the same time, to feel neglected in a sense because let's be real, when you're dieted down and all of the things, there's no sex drive. There's no want for that. You're exhausted. You're just getting through the bare minimum of the day. And I think that that can also be perceived as not as loving and affectionate and things like that too. So I think that that's also an important conversation to have.
Yeah. And kind of going into the intimate side of things without getting into too much detail, there will be periods where, you aren't, it's not that you're not attracted to your significant other anymore. You just don't have the energy. Your hormones are downregulated, close to stage. It's just not something that you want to expend your energy on. And it is what it is, but you do have to voice that to them. And there are other ways to be intimate with your partner. That includes putting down your phone,
Mm,
not scrolling while you're talking, not watching TV while you're hanging out. Like being mentally and intimately connected to your partner is huge for keeping that spark in prep when food's low, when cardio output is high, and you'll keep that going throughout prep. But you do have to be open and honest. But I think one last kind of thing on this, if your partner is constantly undermining you, undermining your passion, saying like, I don't know why you do this. You're spending so much time doing X, Y, and Z and not enough time doing this and the other. And they won't meet you halfway. and respect your goals and your aspirations with this, you have to kind of sit back and be real. Like, is this person the one I want to spend the rest of my life with? Because that's personally, I mean, that's why I date. That's why I'm with Will. We are each other's life partner at the end of the day. Like, I don't have any intentions on leaving this man. And if that person is not the one to build you up, then, you know, why are you still with them? They obviously just want to change you. And
Hmm.
that's not what a life partner is about. So, yeah, it's a harsh truth, but I mean, yeah, it's tough. It is tough, especially when the other person doesn't know much about bodybuilding, has never experienced it. But at the same time, like that can be the best. They can be your biggest cheerleader. They can be like, hell yeah, like that's my woman up there. Like she worked her ass off for that. But if you don't have that support, man, it is tough. I get it for sure.
I think my last piece of advice, and of course I'll let Laura chime in before we move on, is like in really any relationship, but especially if you're looking for like a life partner,
Mhm.
they should help to grow you, not
Yes.
force to change you.
Yes.
And I think that's really powerful because Eric and I have grown together throughout our time together.
Mhm.
But when we tried to force each other to change or call them out in a way where we felt right or vindicated or powerful, you both become small. And
You
like,
end up just resenting each other.
yeah, and
And
it's
that's
like
not how a relationship should be.
exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, dog, you're both people, both of your shit stink. It's like it's so inspirational. And Eric has told this repeatedly. And because I just like try to do stuff to challenge myself. Like I said, I brush my teeth with my left hand now. He's like, you inspire me with how you just challenge yourself in the weirdest ways. And like I make him better because of like my drive. And he makes me better because he teaches me to be calm. Right. But it's again, we're both changing, but we're really growing and we're growing in ways that we need to grow.
Yeah.
Laura, any final thoughts from you on this?
No, I agree with all of that.
Good. You guys want to do Major Mina's question? The
Yes.
one.
Pet peeves in bodybuilding. Aish.
Can we can we
I got one.
list? I was like, can we list
Go for it,
peeves in
Laura.
bodybuilding?
Well, you kind of touched it already, so I don't know. This is just my opinion. I get like almost offended slash angry when I see someone that's like in prep and then almost doing like an OnlyFan type post trying to like I don't know, trying to intermix the two of using the fact that they're bodybuilding to make money sexually.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, teach their own. I have a lot of friends, who do choose that path, and that is completely on them. But I do think that that is the reason why bodybuilding is overly sexualized. Because I don't post in a suggestive tone at all on my page. I post my progress photos, I post my lifts, and I still get creepy comments from men. But if maybe OnlyFans didn't exist, maybe that wouldn't be the case. But I think social media just unfortunately kind of exploited the bodybuilding scene in that way. But I agree. I think
And I'm not
especially
saying that OnlyFans is bad. I'm saying that
no,
there
yeah,
needs to be a disconnect between the two of like how you're carrying yourself as a bodybuilder so
I
the
agree.
sport continues to be respected.
I agree, especially if you're a pro athlete, you're representing the IFBB and you're over here posting your progress photos with your OnlyFans link. I
Yes.
don't know. If I was Tyler Mannion and I saw that, I would be like, well, okay, that's not who I want to represent my league. But again, at the end of the day, teach their own kind of thing.
I'm in my phase of constantly asking why rather than
Mhm.
passing immediate judgment because all I
Yeah,
like
of
to do is
course.
judge, especially myself. I'm really good at judging myself, but I'm trying to be more curious and keep an open mind like Winnie the Pooh. So I have a Winnie the Pooh meditation book, and Winnie the Pooh slaps. So I'm trying to think about how I feel about Laura's pet peeve. And I am unbothered because any sport can be sexualized if it wants to be, even
Hmm.
chess. Because people have their quirks. Bodybuilding's expensive. And I understand wanting to capitalize on your prep because you do have looky-loos wanting to looky at your loo. So I can understand wanting to support yourself. I can see a way that while using OnlyFans is a way to actually grow the sport because you have people that are only on OnlyFans that maybe like muscle mommies and now they're exposed to bodybuilding. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just looking at other opinions and perspectives.
Yeah.
Um, I
You
think at
know,
the end of the day, if you're not hurting anyone and hurting yourself,
Go for it.
go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't affect me. So that's why I don't pass judgment. Like I said, a lot of my friends do this. And at the end of the day, it's what they want to do. And I support that. But it's nothing I would ever do personally.
no, it's
I don't
funny.
even like putting going on stage in a bikini. I don't like
Yeah,
it on
know
me.
that.
Laura, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
We were talking, Josh and I were talking the other day about the podcast. I don't even remember how it came up, but he was bringing up the whole like bro chat thing, how like they literally like combat one another on topics and like kind of like fight with each other. He's like, even if you guys don't meet, you should start doing that. It'll be entertaining and bring more views.
No, it's like again, like Laura, I like your perspective because I understand where you're coming from. And my thing is because I'm just trying to challenge myself. It's like, but what are the others' perspectives? What are those girls' perspectives? Why do they do that? Maybe they like the attention. Maybe it makes them feel good. Maybe they're trying to make money. Maybe they're trying to grow the sport. Maybe they are just so in love with this process and their progress photos and they feel sexy behind a camera. Like I can see it from all angles, right? Now, at the end of the day, is it right or wrong? Like I said, as long as you're not hurting yourself, you're not being mean to the photographer, you're not like doing stuff.
There's like photographers for OnlyFans. That's like in your bedroom. Just kidding.
That's right. Meg, what about you? What are your pet peeves?
Oh God. Um, I think recently a big one is how to scale a coaching business before you even have skin in the game. And what I mean by that is these new coaches who, I mean, we've talked about it all the time, they do one show, they prep a couple people or whatever, and now they think they know it all. They think they know more than, Phil Viz and fucking Andrew Barry who have like 20 plus years or more in the game. And it's so funny to me. And just they try to capitalize on these mentorships that they're now hosting and they go for like oh, I need to buy the latest Excel spreadsheet, but they don't even know how to actually peak an athlete. They do all these like cool content things, but they don't even know how to get someone like in shape or fix their hormones. And that is the biggest pet peeve to me personally. Because like, what are you scaling? You have no knowledge yet, truly. You have base knowledge, you don't have experience yet, and they're trying to capitalize heavily on what they just learned off of ChatGPT or some random podcast that they listen to.
That's people in this business that aren't going to be in it for the
Yeah,
future.
they're not going to last.
They're in it
Yeah,
for the wrong reasons. It's not to help
exactly.
people, it's to make money. And if you're a
Exactly.
coach to make money, you will fail.
Yeah, and
It's
you can weed
part
those
of it,
out.
but
Yeah.
that can't be your sole purpose.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I'm trying to think of the like, okay, but why? And to be curious. And honestly, with Meg's pet peeve, said coach wanting to scale is hurting people. They're
Yeah.
hurting people by being essentially fraudulent or dishonest or delusional to the point where they're going to likely hurt someone's health. They are likely lying to cover up insecurities. And I would have to agree, while that's not my pet peeve, I think it is doing way more harm than good. So therefore, I would like to see that not last. And like you guys just said, it's not going to last because it's not genuine.
Mm. Yeah.
I would have to almost piggyback off of that too, is you at times see coaches that did initially start off with the right intentions, I guess we could say,
Mm,
and have the resume and then get lost in the sauce for trying to take on more than they can handle. And that sucks to see too, because
Yeah.
you're not giving the same attention and
mhm,
people, like you said, can get hurt from that.
mhm.
Not even necessarily an enhanced athlete, but like, neglect in general can be perceived in all different ways.
Definitely. I agree.
I have, well, I guess mine's more of a coaching space. Do you guys want the serious one or the funny one? Let's do the serious ones because then I can like end on a funny note and ask funny questions. The serious one is less about bodybuilding, more about the coaching space as a whole. And it is constantly being negative in your content, especially when you're trying to bash doctors for your gain.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, it's like I understand why it's happening. And even when I was younger in my coaching years, I did that too because I felt right. I felt powerful to be like, yo, your doctor's fucking dumb. And I get that not all doctors are good in the same way that not all coaches are good, but I do find social media and the negative undertones just exhausting nowadays to the point
Yeah.
where it's like people want to scream and just scream the loudest because they think that's going to get views. And it does, absolutely. But I feel like you are trying so hard to feel right that you forget to do right by your clients. And it's like work together as best as you can, remain within your scope, and try to do right by your client. Educate, try to recommend supplementation, lifestyle things, refer them to therapy, refer them to other places. But it's like, it's so good to do right by your people. But again, kind of like Laura said, people get lost in the sauce and their egos get inflated and they just start taking the holier than thou approach. And to me, it's just exhausting because, like, it's not, it shouldn't be either or, it can be both, right? Like we can work together to do right by the patient and do right by the client. But like I
Yeah.
also know that's a Miss America answer and that'll never fucking happen, but like that's just my pet peeve, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if the only way that you know how to get clicks or views or clients is to bash what other people are doing, you're not doing it right, you know? I don't know if it's called like rage bait or whatever, like when people just
Rage bait.
tear tear apart other people, like the whole fucking thing about, oh, training volume versus training this way, science-based training versus how they did it back then. It's like, oh, these skinny bitch boys saying like, oh, the way Ronnie Coleman trained was wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, bro, you tell that to Ronnie Coleman. Like, you tell that to Jay. Like, and it's just, at the end of the day, it's just to get views, to get content. Um, you just have to sift through the shit, unfortunately.
Literally. Literally. And then my funny pet peeve in actual bodybuilding, you are in contest prep,
Oh,
not
fuck.
on contest prep, you silly gooses. The elf
Mhm.
sits on the goddamn shelf. Now, if mommy's upset, maybe the elf is in the shelf, but it's not there willingly. It's because she like yeeted it and it got stuck in the wood, right? Contest prep is not something you're on. I am on a yoga ball. If I'm in a yoga ball, it's because it went up my cooter and I need to go to the hospital.
That
Random.
is so funny. I love that one. Fuck, I think I just lost it. Prep brain, fuck. Come on, get it back. Someone say something.
Trying to blow your thought back to you.
I don't know. It was just right there. But I do like that one, in versus on prep. Yeah, you're
God
God,
damn it.
that is a good
I
one.
never noticed that until you just said it now, and a lot of people do say that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I got it.
you are in
Um,
preparation.
Mine is kind of funny. I don't know if it is. It's just fucking annoying to see when online coaches post the screenshot of their computer at the beginning of the day and they list off everything they have to do and they include fucking dumb shit like nail appointment, tanning, gym session. Like, oh my God. Like if I was a CEO and I saw that, I would be like, oh, what a fucking hard day that is. Your 5 check-ins, tanning nails, and go get a little lift in, like gym tan laundry over here. Like, it's just holy shit. Like, if
Bonus points
I
if you have
wrote down,
twins.
I can't. I mean, I'm saying I've done it. I did that in the past too. When I was balancing school and coaching, I was like, oh, we gotta do all this. Like, look what I'm doing. Like, you suck. And it's like, the fuck? Like, nobody actually gives a shit. Like, and I just see some of their busy schedules, and I'm just like, So
That
what
made
did you
me think of
do?
one more too. The morning routine peoples that are like filming every little fucking thing that they
Yo,
do, that are all eccentric and unnecessary, gives me anxiety just
dude, how are you gonna film yourself getting out of bed? That shit
like
boggles my
fix your
mind.
hair and then okay, I'm ready.
If you saw me getting out of bed, you'd be like, click off that video real quick because I'm just like, like fucking like the crypt keeper coming out of the grave.
This is completely not a pet peeve, but this is something that again that I've learned from my Winnie the Pooh meditation. And it essentially is like to be like Winnie the Pooh, where he's like always in the moment. And it was
Yeah,
like when you get out of bed, like actually feel your feet on the floor. And I've done that every single morning the past 4 days. And it adds really nothing to my life per se, but like we don't think about how we get out of bed. We don't think about the bed is warm, the blankies are snuggly, the animals are maybe snuggly too. But like the whole act of just like being is really
being,
cool. Yeah.
yeah,
It's something that like
just fucking
again,
existing.
yeah, it's
We
like
kind of forget that we're living sometimes and we just
yeah,
go, go, go. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So
Actually acknowledging that you're you're on this world, it's kind of cool.
yeah,
So it's doing
acknowledging
something to you.
yeah,
It
exactly.
is.
Like you literally woke up today. Like
Yeah.
acknowledge that. One funny question because I know Laura's probably got to get to go soon. What
Yeah.
is your
Same.
favorite sauce?
Hmm.
Like we
Salt and
always say,
pepper.
we get lost in the sauce. What sauce are you getting lost in?
I don't have a favorite sauce. I don't like sauce.
Yeah, I don't really either.
It could
Shit.
be any sauce. Like think about like your favorite food. Like does it have like a sauce or a drizzle or a marinade?
No.
Uh,
But like if I'm like at a fancy fucking place and they got a little drizzle shit on there, I like avocado drizzle. I don't know. I don't like mayo. I don't like barbecue. I don't like ketchup really. I mean, I used to eat ketchup, but like I don't like it. I don't know. I'm not a sauce girl.
the only things I really use are mustard and the G Hughes sugar-free
Ugh.
chicory barbecue.
Hmm.
I just use seasoning and yeah, I mean when I can I use mustard. Guess that's my sauce is mustard.
I was thinking mustard and honey mustard would be kind of like y'all's response. Honestly, it really just depends on what, but it's like if I want like a sauce, it's probably gonna be like that eel sauce that they have on the barbecued eels.
Oh, like all that
Kimchi.
sugary shit in there.
Yeah,
Mm,
I don't want a lot. I don't want a lot. I just want to
yeah.
have like, barely like the size of like my diamond ring, just a little, just to like complement it, but I
I
don't want it soaked.
I do like I don't know why in like off season, like sometimes like for an off-plan meal, all I want is like a big crunchy salad. Like I don't know. And when it has like a drizzle of like tahini or something or like lemon vinaigrette, that shit slaps, man. But yeah,
That's
I'm
fair.
not one to sauce it up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, no, same, but like every once in a while, it's like if I have like a comeback sauce, like I'll fuck up comeback sauce, but like I just don't want
Hmm.
to like be a Scrooge McDuck and like dive in it. You know what I'm saying? Like a little goes
Yeah.
a long way when it comes to sauce for me.
Mm,
Cool.
agreed.
All right, ladies, I love you. Our gratitudes is we're alive today.
We're
So
alive.
we're alive. We're here.
Barely hanging on, but we're
We're here.
getting there.
Love you, ladies. Have a good rest of your day. We'll catch you
Bye.
next
All
week.
right, bye
Bye.
guys.